Hello out there and good morning, traders. It is April 11th, 2024, and welcome to the Apteros Daily Market Insight for the ES. So, taking a look at our recap from yesterday, really great DMI for us. We had our CPI number come in, create a little bit of a catalyst for us where we ended up seeing a really clear picture in our DMI where we had a nice bear zone, a nice bull zone, and something to pay attention to in between. Our main scenarios pretty much were straightforward in terms of scenario one being, kind of moving around back inside of here, scenario two being a move outside, scenario three being a move outside of this area as well. And that was generally our expectation around the overall plan for the session. And we nailed it. We absolutely nailed it. We ended up finding the area where the bulls were kind of working themselves out of some of the CPI lows there, and then they move across, head right into the overall stretch target area, get one nice, really clear inflection in the actual trading session. That starts pushing down through, coming into a target area here between our neutral zone and our main bullish zone. Then from there, just really bouncing back and forth between overall destinations here. And if you're playing this in terms of acceptance, right? So how does this go in terms of sequence? Bullish from here until you get to this target area. From here, you're looking bearish, and all these inflections here are all bearish opportunities off of a neutral area after the main line in the sand has been tested and, confirmed, as it were. And then, of course, eventually it does get down overnight into our main bullish zone again, but a lot of chances for really great MFE from neutral zone to neutral zones on the downside here. And yeah, technically from the lower edge, possible inflections coming back up. But if you're applying the DMIs in terms of sequence and in terms of acceptance, the idea here is bullish with scenario one here, bearish with scenario one here, and then you remain bearish within scenario one because you haven't quite hit the main destination or the main target area overall in the session. And that's generally what the opportunities look like according to the DMI. So really great DMI here, kind of nailing most of the major inflections for the session. Let's move on and see what's going on today. So today we actually have kind of a similar picture to what was going on yesterday. A little bit of a shift in terms of where the bears are located and the way things are kind of setting up. Things aren't exactly clean cut. They're a little sloppier today than they were yesterday, but still clarity here. Our main concern or our main area that we're watching from a short-term perspective is right here with our prior value area, right? So this is our prior value area. From here, we can kind of derive a lot of what's happening today in terms of what we're looking for out of the DMI. So our main DMI right now is scenario one, kind of staying in between these two line in the sand areas here, and that would be the overall rotational trade idea, let's call it, right? So the market doesn't necessarily look for new value today. It remains relatively rotational inside of this zone. Scenario two would be a break to the upside where our prior value area, which is, let me clear this up here, which is right here, our prior value area ends up holding and we see a break to the upside for scenario two. Our first target is right into here, which is a neutral area at this point, and then a possible continuation to the main target, which would be just up above here at the 52.52s. All right, so that would kind of be the general zone for what we're looking for in scenario two. Scenario three, we end up holding somewhere up in here or something along those nature. We rotate down, get down through prior value area, start pushing back down again into these lows where we saw a little bit of a catalyst this morning, and we break down that bullish area and head lower. And this would be, like I said, a little bit more of a bigger time frame shift here with scenario three if we start holding down below this bullish zone. And that would put us into some lower destinations into old value back in here. So our first neutral target here, and then our main stretch target down below around the 31, 36, or 51, 36s, sorry. So that's our overall landscape for today. Very similar plan to what was going on yesterday, but we have a very similar layout to what's happening. The one clear difference that we have is yesterday's value that we kind of generated during the session in this area here, giving us a little bit more of a short-term leaning on this upper zone here, and this lower zone here being a little bit more from the long-term time frame. So short-term stuff on the bearishness, long-term stuff on the bullishness. It's a classic battle between the time frames. We'll see which side wins out. But we can be on board no matter what happens, right? Because we have scenarios laid out given the acceptance picture around these particular lines in the sand that are meaningful to this market. Trade well out there, mind your risk, have a great process day. That's really the key here. Have a good winning process day, and that's how you should define every day in terms of winning and losing. All right.